Yeah, I guess we're
4:30. Call the Tuesday, August 8th, 2017 work session. Call that to order. And I'm going to entertain an approval to, or I guess we have no public comments, or I guess we have to approve the agenda anyway. We'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Chuck, I guess there's no public comments?
No, there's not.
Okay.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We will now call, or I'll now call to order the Tuesday, August 8th, 2017 monthly board meeting. And I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion regarding that? All those in favor? Any opposed? Tom, turn it over to you.
Okay, we have one recognition tonight, and that is from our community choir. Connie, come on up here. Yes, Connie, you have to come up. Oh, Connie came by and saw me here a week or so ago, and the community choir donated roughly $325 to the choral department at the high school. So with that, a token of our appreciation is I'm presenting this certificate to you, Connie, which you can present to the community choir for that donation. We appreciate it so much. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Connie.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You appreciate it very much, as always. And yes, Connie, you can work the ball games. We got you down. Thank you. We do appreciate it very
Wouldn't know
much.
what to do if you weren't there.
You just walk right in.
Oh, that's probably right.
Oh, you are.
Oh. All right, first item under informational is the co-curricular extracurricular participation report, and Mr. McGill, our athletic director, is going to give us that information. So Andy, turn it over to you.
Give you guys an athletic recap of the 2016-17 school year. I want to break it up in a few different areas. Team statistics, we had 243 student athletes that earned varsity and junior varsity letters. This past year, 183 boys and 140 girls. Our teams accumulated 3 district championships: boys basketball, boys track and field, and then our baseball team. Our only conference championship this past season was our boys basketball team, and our cheerleaders received a second place showing in the state competition. Individual statistics, we had 26 students that were awarded first team all conference honors. We had 39 student athletes that earned first team all district or all region honors. We had 7 student athletes that were named first team all state. I will name them by name: Brett Thatch in boys basketball, Josh Stinnett in wrestling, Ashley Gilman, Kylie Lucing, Alyssa Nolan in cheerleading, and Gloria Bennett and Elijah Faulkner in track and field. We also had 12 athletes that plan on pursuing college athletics this upcoming school year. 7 of them were female and 5 male athletes. We also had 15 athletic scholarships, local athletic scholarships that were awarded at our senior night. Academic honors, we had 106 varsity student athletes that were recognized as being all conference academic. And we had 19 student athletes that were recognized as being all-state academic through their respective state associations. 3 sport athletes, this is the second year we've recognized 3 sport athletes at our all-sports banquet. 15 varsity and 22 junior varsity athletes were recognized, 37 total. This doubled our number from the first year that we recognized them in 2015-2016 school year. I mentioned the all-sports banquet. We had a former Sikeston High School alum, Dr. Rick Wright, that came and spoke at our all-sports banquet on May 13th. And then ball practice began last week, Monday, July 31st.
Questions for Andy?
On the part where it says 12 athletes plan to pursue athletics in college, does that mean that there were 12 that were assigned to play somewhere?
Yes and no. I mean, we recognize that they want to walk on also. So anybody that wants to pursue They might have received an athletic scholarship, but also they could have walked on to a different school that plans on pursuing athletics.
I just find it interesting that there's 7 female
Yeah.
and 5 men.
That's actually the second year in a row that we've had female student athletes go to pursue athletics.
So I'm thinking that maybe we need to focus a little more on our female athletics.
I feel like we do.
Yeah,
I feel like
well,
we
maybe.
I think we
recognize
put
that.
a lot of effort into our programs.
How many of those were soccer
Maybe
girls?
more.
There were at least 3.
I was gonna say, I know 3. Kayla and.
We had
Marissa.
3. Actually, yeah, we had 3, all going to Missouri Baptist.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Caleb, Larissa.
I think Larissa ended up going to SBU, but yeah,
That's right.
that was the
Who
plan.
was the third one?
Kayla,
The
Larissa,
Graham
Soccer.
girl.
Caleb, Graham, and Caleb.
Curry. Oh, Curry.
Yeah.
That's
so-
it. Great. Yeah, fantastic.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it. Good job. Okay, next is the communication report, and obviously, I'm not Sarah. Sarah had to be out today, so I'm going to try and mow my way through this communication report. If we need to go ahead and go back or come back to anything that you have a question with, we can do that next month. So we'll just kind of go through this. Part of her report is she mentioned about the website, whether we have 1.8 million views after it's been launched in August of last year. Facebook, over 2,400 likes. I'm not a Facebook person, so I guess that's pretty good. The Facebook has been a pretty hot item with our district as far as trying to communicate, as has the website. Twitter, we have over 1,200 followers, which has been very good. I know a lot of the people through the district have utilized Twitter. It was kind of a challenge here a few years ago. Mr. Mays put a challenge forward to his academic leaders to try to tweet something once a day for 30 days. And I kind of got in on the tail end of that as well and started going with it. But Twitter has been a really pretty neat way of communicating with our folks in the district. Then the communication survey, which is attached. This is something that we put out, I think it was the middle of July that we sent out to our parents. And you can see several things that were asked there as far as how information is acquired or gathered by our community. And also the areas that receive the most information by building. For example, like that of the kindergarten. Typically receives more information about their son or daughter and also about the activities that are being planned within the building. The other buildings pretty much are consistent all the way through in the 40% range. So you can kind of see that information. It also talks too about the types of media that helps or parents look at as far as gathering information. One of the #1 ways to get that information, or parents feel to get that information, is through the SIS call or through telephone. Parent portal is also an important method, as is Facebook. You can go through there and look at this information, and if you have any questions, I would be more than happy to try and answer those for you. But while you're looking at that, I just want to tell you, here in June, Sarah and I, and there was a couple of administrators, Ms. Branch and Mr. Staple, met with the state PR group, a guy by the name of Dave Luther. Yeah, Mosfer, thank you. I was blank there for a minute. In that group, we also had Poplar Bluff schools, and we also had Charleston schools with us. And it was an attempt to try and come up with a communication plan. From there, what we've done is we're starting to develop groups that would be part of an internal communication group, and we're also looking at external communication groups, which would be our which would be our community members. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. We're in the planning stages of that. It's going to be longer than a year-long process, we feel like, in order to develop a full-fledged communication plan, but I think it's something that's very doable after listening to Dave Luther that particular day. Are there any questions on the survey? I'll give you just a minute to piece through that.
You know, each sport has their own page, right? Correct?
Facebook?
Twitter.
They have Twitter.
Twitter,
I don't think they have Facebook.
No, on
Like,
the
well, I-
website. I mean, on the website.
Yeah.
Right? So, is there any way we could get a calendar just for that sport on their website?
Well,
I really don't know. I guess you can.
I thought they did have, I know.
I know you have
something that had
the
that
overall
before.
calendar on the main page, but I don't know. I guess you can.
I think
I
you
thought
can, Mr.
soccer
Williams.
did too.
The reason I know it is because I was looking for football before the football schedules came out the other day, and there is one on there for, so I know it can be done at least
Well,
in
see,
that
I
case.
thought girls soccer had that.
Might
I
be.
thought when Christian was wrestling, the wrestling. was
It
on there.
may be, and there's not, when I was looking, it wasn't updated or whatever, but sometimes, like, if I'm like, is there a basketball, or whatever, it's hard to.
One of the main things that people look at the webpage for is for that of the calendar.
Yeah,
That's the
what's
number
going on.
one.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what people like to look on there, to find out what activities are around the buildings.
Well, they want to plan and if their family.
Sure. Sure we do. All right, well, we'll go into the next item, that of retention rates, and Mr. Prater's going to present that information.
Thank you. You have that in front of you, you'll see that there's only 2 schools that have retentions, and when we say retention, we're talking about students who did not go up, advance a grade, they're staying in that grade again, typically at the early grade levels. So kindergarten has 20 of them, which is really the best place to see them if we're going to have them. And then Southeast had 2. Just as a matter of comparison, last year we had 17 total. The year before we had 20, so we're usually hover around 20, give or take a couple. So basically that's a report of those.
Any questions on the retention rates?
17 was total last year?
Yes. It's 15 at kindergarten and 2 at Matthews last year.
Is that where typically kindergarten has the highest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We rarely have any after elementary grades.
Any questions on retention? Okay, Mr. Prater, I'll turn it back over to you for nonviolent crisis intervention training.
Okay, this is our report from the last school year. We conducted 5 initial trainings, 6 refresher trainings. Anyone who's had the initial has to come back the following year and have a refresher. So those are our totals. Then in the next section, we had 65 people in the initials, 195 in the refreshers, and we did a little 85 hours that our trainers spent training, and you see the list of who they are. We added a new one this summer. Doyle Nolan went and got training. So we have 5 people to do it, which is great. We can get more people trained that way, because it is a monumental task to get, I don't know how many staff members we have, but excessive. Probably we usually do teachers and assistants primarily, so that's 200 plus people, maybe 300, I'm not sure, but it's just hard to get that many people through the training, so it's good to have an extra trainer. And just a little background, CPI, which stands for Crisis Prevention Institute, by the way, if you don't know what this stands for, but it's basically to teach us skills to, where we can, to talk down students who are about to have a crisis behavior episode, and then when we cannot do that, then it teaches us to safely provide physical interventions that are safe to them and to the staff member. We just commonly call it CPI, but that's what it means. We began this in 2010, and we've had 86 classes over the years since then, 1,456 total participants, and 643 and a half course hours taught. So it's a monumental thing that we do and invest in, and it's a time investment as well as a monetary one for our folks. Anecdotal reports indicate that the folks leave the training with a sense of confidence, so better able to handle situations that might arise in their classrooms, their school buildings, hallways, wherever it might be.
Do you do this like during professional development days, or?
We do.
Typically
The initial training is a 2-day, it's a 12-hour training, so we can't get it all in one day. So those we have to schedule. We try to pick days when we don't already know a lot of subs are going to be used. So we will have to sub some of those people out to come and get the initial. But once we've done that, the refresher training is only 4 hours. So we've been able to use in-service days, and large part to get those folks trained in them. But sometimes we can't get them all in doing that either. So last week I did all the school nurses. So we didn't try to squeeze them in on an in-service day earlier because we were about maxed out of seats. And the trainings are more effective if we keep the class small. We like to have it under 20, and personally I like a group of about 10 or 12. I think we get more out of it that way. But it does take time, and we do have to at least sub out some when we do the initial trainings. The good thing too is that we hosted a national training here in June, so we did not have to send people to Kansas City or St. Louis or Little Rock. We usually try to get something in the middle of the country to send our people to, so we were able to save all the costs of travel and room and board by having the CPI folks come to us, which was a first for us.
I think it's awesome that we do this kind of training. My question is, of those that have gone through the training and whatnot, how many of them have had to implement that training in a real life scenario? I mean, do we get any kind of feedback on that? How much of that is actually utilized on a day-to-day?
Yeah, we don't collect that data, maybe we should, but when we have the refreshers, we always start off with describe your experiences, and there'll be some that's like, I never use it, don't know what it is, and there'll be some that says, I use it every day, and then we'll talk about some of the real extreme cases, not using names, but kind of it's good for the rest of the folks sitting there to see how often it's used, when it's used, how you did with it, what you learned. A part of the process is to debrief after an episode or an event so we can do better the next time. I think that's something we should collect.
It'd be interesting to see how
Right
many
now,
of
it's
them feel
just
like
the
they
stories that people tell, but
how many of them feel like they utilize it at some point in the classroom.
I think the biggest thing I can recall when I went back through is just like Lynn talked about, the confidence of knowing how to handle a situation that comes up because you've been trained in that area. So I think that's the biggest thing.
Having some idea.
Yeah,
What to do.
yeah.
It's gotta
You
help.
know, instead
don't remember it all. Yeah.
if somebody raises a voice at you, becomes somewhat agitated, you know how to deal with it and not allow it to go further. So, by the way, Mr. Craig, I understand that somebody tried a technique on you. Is that correct? It may have taken you to the floor?
oh yeah.
Yes, I so they're well trained.
There's not a video of that, is there?
So,
Allegedly.
Well, I wanted them to feel confident. I figured they could take a guy my size, they
Yeah.
should be able to handle their class.
well, they did a great job, I tell you.
Wasn't one of the women?
It was all nurses. I was the only guy in the room.
Yeah. Thank you, Lynn.
We picked two little gals too, so come up here, you guys can do this, I promise you can do it. They did fine.
Next, we have the school climate survey, and this is a survey we've been passing out for years. What I tried to do with this is compile the information from 2011 through 2017. And obviously, read through there, you think, well, where's 2015? Well, for some reason, I don't know what the reason was, we didn't give the survey during that year. So we have 2011, 12, 13, 14, 16, and 17 information there for you to review. Some of the things, I think it's kind of interesting to see where you are now compared to 2011, and some of the questions kind of make you think about what we should try to do better, what we can improve upon. In some things, I noticed there's a question in the back as far as, I'm trying to find my questions here. One I always kind of look at, because you want staff members that really truly want to come to work and feel comfortable coming to work and truly enjoy being around their kids. And question number 59 says, I look forward to going to work at my school building. And we have 84.6% strongly agree, saying that yes, I still like to come to work and I enjoy what I'm doing. And that's pretty much been maintained. It was slightly over. From last year, it was 80.8%, in 2011, 85.8%. But overall, our staff members do like to come to work. There's all sorts of questions through there. I can go through them individually, or you can ask me about that. There's another one I just happen to have marked too, number 62. So I feel comfortable expressing my opinion at meetings and school buildings. 75% of our folks say that yes, I do feel like I can express my opinion and I can say what I need to say within the meeting. So they're extending themselves out, being the professional that they should be, and asking questions that are needed. So are there any questions on the school climate survey?
Is this just given to teachers?
Yes.
So how many teachers are there?
This was given to 208 teachers took this, and we have 241, so 86% of our staff took it. That was over from last year. I think we had like 79% of our staff members. We had a little problem last year, I think, with the survey monkey getting out, but this year we got it out, and 86% is a good number.
How many did you say we have, 200?
241
241.
certificated staff members.
Tom, what do you guys do? I mean, obviously you can review this, you got those, and then the past surveys that previously we were talking about with the parents and the communication report. What do we do with all those notes? Is there?
Well, one thing is I put them on my superintendent goals. That's part of my goal, is to make sure that we improve upon these areas that are of high need. And then also as well, we stress to our staff that those are areas that they need to emphasize. Last year, we did this, and I didn't do this year. Last year, what we did is I gave this by building to our building principals, and they broke this down. And they took 3 questions that they felt like were of highest need for them, and then they developed goals and to try and solve the problem, so to speak. I think it worked pretty well. I think it needs a little bit more feedback, a little more follow-up, but we didn't try that this year. Questions? All right. Next we have the back-to-school schedule, and I put that in your listing basically to let you know that we're at the high school field house, not the cafeteria this year. After talking with Shannon about this and Mike Brown, he was just like, there's no way we can accommodate everyone in the cafeteria and have the AC running properly and keep everybody cool. So we have moved that to the field house. We start at 11 o'clock with lunch. I'm asking the board members if you could get there at 10:45 or 10:30, because we're going to have some elementary folks come in early, and you can hand out the calendars to them at that time. You can see all the events that we've got planned and what we've had planned. We are planning for August 11th a carousel. Okay, we're going to have the secondary folks come in at 7:30. They're going to be at the Math and Science building. Our elementary folks will be at their elementary buildings at 8 o'clock. The reason why we did stagger that is so we could get everything worked in. The elementary folks will go till 4. The secondary folks will go till 3:30. That's kind of what we're planning now. We're planning an hour and a half at lunchtime. We've got a lot of things planned for that time. We have several giveaways. We have well over 100. I don't remember exactly how many we have. And we have some really neat gifts this year. I'll just save it for that. We have some really nice gifts. A lot of people donated. We were able to get some other things as well. So I think it's going to be a really nice day. Really nice event for our teachers.
So you said you asked elementary to come early. Is there a time that they're coming in?
Elementary is going to come later. Kindergarten through 6, they're going to start at 8 o'clock.
Oh, you're not talking about for lunch. You're talking
No. I'm talking about for the day. We had to do that in order to work our carousel and our lunch and everything, so we had to stagger the times.
Okay.
Gotcha. So they'll go till 4 o'clock, and then 7 through 12 will start at 7:30, and they'll get off at 3:30.
I've got down that you're going to announce the winner for Child to 10.
That's something different. That's at Matthews.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Then, okay.
Yeah, it's a chop competition we talked about the other day. They're going to announce the winner at the building at 10 o'clock.
That's
I
a
thought you were one of the judges, don't you know?
Yes.
I do, but they asked us if we wanted to be there, so I thought it was that. I misunderstood. Okay, I will take it.
Yeah, that's at Matthews at 10.
And then 10:45.
Okay, next item is the tax hearing. I wanted to give you just information on this. Our tax rate hearing is going to be scheduled for either August 28th or 29th. We have some information yet to get in, then it has to be posted out there for 7 days, and then we can go ahead and hold the meeting. Just wanted to give you a tentative timeline as far as what we're looking at there, but you can plan on August 28th or 29th.
Tom,
I'm sorry I had to leave this room right when I had the subject you got on.
Well, you can go
School
back.
Climate survey.
Yeah.
And I was just, if I could go back to that, I was curious if there's a point at which, you know, when you're looking at your numbers and you've got percentages of strongly agree or agree, and I kind of looked at those and lumped those together because that's really where you want to be. You want to
Yeah.
have
Yes.
strongly agree or agree. Because neutral, that doesn't help us
No.
at all. So is there a percentage at which you say, okay, well, this should be higher than 65? You know, where is it that you start looking at
Personally,
what's the concern?
personally, I looked at 70%. I would like to see everything in the 90% range. Personally, I would like to see everything that
Yeah,
high.
but that's
But
not
I
really
think,
realistic.
no, it isn't. But I think if you look at the 70% range, I think you need to start taking a serious look at what's going on. And if there's also a decline year after year after year, if you're starting to drop off, that kind of tells me that something's going on. And
Right.
that you need to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like, I looked
The
at,
trend
it
is.
seemed like
Yes.
30, number 30. What was that? And I didn't have very much time.
Discipline is handled fairly in my school building?
Yeah, that seemed to be kind of
Yeah, it
low.
is.
And I thought, well, that's not good. We need to have discipline, fair discipline across the board.
We do.
So that I noticed, and then I think number 62 was one I saw, noticed.
As far as expressing, see,
And it was a low, not high as high as we would expect.
but I took that as almost a positive, and I'll tell you why, because I look back at 2011, we were 69%.
Yeah.
So I look at it as like, we're slowly making strides in trying to have our folks, or feel comfortable expressing themselves.
So this is at 66%. Agree or strongly? Agree.
76%.
30?
Are you talking?
30 and 36.
In 2017?
Are you talking about 2011?
Number 62 is the question.
Yeah. What
I'm
year?
looking at strongly agree and agree
Mhm.
For what?
total,
For which one?
For what year?
2017.
2017.
It's 39 and 36 is almost 75.
Ours doesn't look like that.
Mine doesn't say that.
29.
Just 29.
29 and 36.
Interesting.
We got two different things.
You sure do.
Oh.
They're looking, Tom's got a hard copy there, it's different than what we got on board docs.
Well, if it's 66, we need to be looking at it. And so if you could just verify that,
I sure can.
you know. But I guess that's what I'm thinking, that anything that's 70 or below is something we could work on. And so if somebody can analyze what these results were and pick those things out and say, what do we need to do better, or what can we change to make use of this tool?
Exactly.
I don't know if you could drill down by what building too. I mean,
We do.
It could be a specific building that's skewing the.
We do.
The number.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We do that, and each administrator is given a breakdown by their building.
Okay, thanks. I just wanted to-
That's interesting, though. I don't know why there's a difference there between my hard copy and what you have.
So for us to see the year comparisons, we gotta get them down into
Wait, I didn't get.
Yeah, that's where I thought you were
Yeah.
looking. Yeah, I was looking at the yearly thing too. Yeah, yearly says 39. On the comparisons?
Yeah, I'm not,
Yeah.
I didn't even get down into that, far down into the document. but- Okay, thanks.
Well, they're all different. No, that one's not. Yes, it is.
Oh, ooh.
Ooh. I'll take a look at that. Absolutely. Okay, let's go into require an action. And our first item is a request permission to schedule an executive session to discuss personal matters immediately following this meeting.
I'll entertain a motion.
So,
Second.
Mr. Cronback? Yes. Mr. Drury?
Yes.
Mr. Boyd?
Yes.
Mr. Lees? Mr.
yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Second item there is the selection of the construction manager at risk for Wing Elementary Building. And as most of you are aware, or will be aware, the committee met with Brockmiller Construction. Met with them, gosh, it's been a couple weeks ago, I believe it was. But in that, I'll turn it over to community member Scott. He's going to share that information with you.
Well, I think the big difference that we saw with this type of process is that, number one, we will be able to use more local vendors than what we did in the past with the math and science building, with having only the construction manager position. With that, some of the workers that are able to offer their service can work under this person as a general, if you will, and work under their bond. And those were the two biggest items that were brought to our attention as a board when we were working on the math and science building that didn't give back to the community after the community passed the bond. And with that, Brockmiller already has some relationships with some of the businesses in Sikeston based on some of their past dealings with New Dawn, and I think they did MaxBack, and some other interests here in the community. So they've already got a network established. We sat down, we had just a real personable talk with them, Chad, Beth, myself, Tom. I don't know, I got a very good feeling from these guys, and with that, I would make the motion that we accept the committee's recommendation to Pat Brockmiller and Associates, DR Construction Manager Risk for the Sikeston School District in conjunction with our work at Wing Elementary.
Scott, I remember this was like a two-step process, wasn't it? And did you guys go to the point where you got the percentage, the information about how much money we're really talking about in terms of the percentage that they are going to be asking for and the details of their...
Yeah, and
Did you share that in here?
that number was kind of
Yes,
hard to...
on page 2.
Is that the 4%?
Yeah, it's
4 and 6.
4 and 6.
When you look at an overall, Rebecca, that's a hard question to answer.
It
But when
is.
you break it down, Chad's right, you're looking at 4 and 6 was...
And it's dependent on whether that's a construction fee or if it's that general conditions fee based on the type of work. But you can figure the most will be, if everything is 6%.
6%.
Yeah.
And that was within what our architect was talking about,
Oh,
too,
yes.
the ranges you're looking at. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember the
Yeah, so
numbers.
some of it
The
will be at
4%
4%.
was more like a cleanup at the end of the day and things like that, that they have to provide folks to do that. And that would be under the 4%.
Yes, there's things that are-
That was just an example that he had, because we asked him, well, what would be an example of a 4% fee that we would charge us, and so that was that 4%.
You know, one of the interesting things too, Rebecca, that they presented, of course, they're not going to present that information, but how many constructions that they had that was under budget.
Yeah.
And on time.
And
on time.
And that's a big sales. I mean, I'm sure they're not gonna say, well, you know, we had problems here and there, but we did ask about other specific projects that, you know, they knew about, and they could kind of guide us to which direction they would have gone if there was problems with projects. And I think they were pretty well prepared, even though they were the only ones that we interviewed, they were pretty well prepared.
Should we talk about that? We only got that one, but with Nickel or with Brian's help, we solicited 12 more,
Oh,
12
gosh, yes,
or
went
more.
out.
We emailed and said,
Yeah.
send us some bids. We went to, over what we think we can do.
St. Louis,
as far-
Springfield,
Well, I know you
Jonesboro.
guys worked
Yeah.
really hard on trying to get.
Tom, do you
people
happen to have
involved.
a copy of
They're-
that map that shows the school districts that they,
Oh,
that was
yeah.
pretty impressive.
That was in this one, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So-
it was.
Or was it the other one?
No, I think it was in that one.
Did you guys get any feedback as to why nobody else was interested in?
It's a busy construction time.
That's what they said.
Scott Fleming said he was not surprised whatsoever. Just because of the amount of work that's going on right now, you know what? I think it was in the, wasn't it in the first one?
I think it may have been.
Excuse me just a minute.
Oh, you know what?
It was the first one.
Did they talk about if they can perform any of the work themselves?
Yes.
They can, and that's what we would have to approve them. If they did all some of the work, we have to vote.
After we met the first
Because
time,
they're kind of, we're
So
not
there's no
general.
conflict?
that's when
Correct,
we
that's
extended
right.
Okay.
the
And they usually do
proposals.
a good chunk. I mean, they're
They
interested
actually
in
followed
participating.
up, staff
Yeah.
here, Tom and Kerry followed up individuals.
I guess it is that, Tom.
Yeah, that picture, yeah.
That right there.
This is a
I
pretty
know these folks.
impressive.
We haven't received anything.
Their bond rating is super low, which means they are really stout financially, and there's not any issues with that
I think
stuff.
it's good for everybody to take a look at that page to see that's the.
Kind of get an idea of what schools they've had a part in. They've been everywhere.
Wow.
I think you did a little investigation yourself. when we-
Out of everything we saw, that was kind of impressive to me.
Those are all the schools that have been involved.
Yeah, they did New Dawn.
They did New Dawn, but they've also they did Farmington, they've worked with Kate Jackson.
What was it? They had another part. I mean, I know they built.
Down here?
Well, if they weren't doing a good job, they'd have a bad reputation.
Oh,
yeah,
You
definitely.
know that
Absolutely.
with all of this.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and you know, I think too, they have an interest that if this is a successful project, maybe we'll do others in our community. I mean, our long-term goal is to do that.
Mhm.
And so, you know, we've got an architect that we've had a long-standing relationship with. If we have a construction manager at risk that we end up having a good relationship with, you know, that could be long-standing.
The other piece that was, the difference between construction manager versus the construction manager at risk was that guaranteed maximum price.
Yeah.
That ultimately and they did a real good job, I felt like, of helping us understand the benefit of having them on the front end and making decisions so that once you get to that place where you're solidifying that guaranteed maximum price, you're pretty right on, you know, because they've been involved in the preliminary components.
What they call it, value.
Value engineering.
Value engineering, that's
Yeah.
it. Where we might not cut down on the square footage of something, or we might not
Material.
make the ceiling as high, or things like that. Things that they've done that can help improve the overall cost and not just immediately.
Tweaking
make
some of the
schools smaller.
design
Yeah.
features to
Yeah.
benefit us
Yeah.
financially.
There's two other differences here with this that we saw differently than the math and science. They can act as a contractor and bid on.
Yeah,
on
that's what we
too.
was
Yeah,
asking, yeah.
And either bring in their own employees or hire from the community. But the other thing is, we're not gonna have to, as a board, approve all of their expenditures. And I know, I guess Lori and I may have been the only ones here at that time where we had some lengthy meetings of just approving several line items of things that went into the building, and I think that's gonna be helpful to us.
Well, I would move that we accept the committee's recommendation.
Second.
Scott made a motion.
Yeah, I had a motion, first of all, from Scott.
Yeah.
And then the second.
Yeah.
Or-
You can have it.
Does that have to be roll call?
No.
No.
Do you have any more questions or discussion or comments? Very good. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I want to thank you three and Tom for spending all the time that you did.
These guys did a good job, and conversation, I really almost wish everybody could have sat in
Yeah,
with it,
it was
because
really, really.
they were very helpful to us. We sat in here 3 hours?
We had an hour or something,
Had it scheduled
hour
for
and a
an hour and a
half.
half.
And we were
And
here
it went
2
just like
hours.
that. They
He
were
was like-
so
It
good.
was like, gosh, it's lunch or whatever.
It was a really good conversation.
One of the things that impressed me about them as well was the site superintendent was one of the guys.
Every day.
And he'll be there every day.
Mhm.
And I mean, he clearly is construction, but very professional and can talk. And, you know, obviously they had the numbers guy and then the construction guy, but both of them very, very good.
He'd been with the company
30 Yeah.
31 years. And he's gonna drive down from Farmington
Every day.
single day.
That's what it said.
Not in that trailer here on site. He's gonna drive down every single
Every
day.
day. Yep.
And I mean, he's a
No
good old
thanks.
boy, as good old boys get.
Yeah.
He came in his jeans and his ball cap and,
Yeah.
but he was, you know, he did come across very well.
Yeah.
I mean,
One of the things that impressed me that he said too was, because of course we began to ask about material, you know, where they're going to acquire materials and stuff. And one of the things he talked about, and if you deal with C&K, you know, he's talking about, he said, I love dealing with C&K because they'll put your ticket on the counter and they keep it open until the end of the day. Which I mean, C&K does nothing computerized.
Yeah.
Well, he loves that. Like he's like, I'm just going to go in and so.
Sign a ticket.
So I mean, it was obvious he's dealt with our local people here before. I mean, it was,
Great.
unfortunately, not every business in the community has
yeah.
The expertise.
the expertise or has the wherewithals to do a project of this magnitude. We don't have people that can do huge heating and cooling systems, and so our skill set's gonna be limited. But they could subcontract some portions of the work.
And we expressed
Oh, yeah.
strongly numerous times that
I
we
think they heard that loud.
want local money, we want local folks that can be involved in it in whatever capacity.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you all.
The next item is a consideration of FY18 budget adjustment. Ms. Boardman?
We're asking the board this evening to adjust down revenue, decrease revenues by $64,870 and decrease total expenditures for $51,071. I will tell you that I started calling it a typo. It's not a typo, it's just an out-and-out mistake. The expenditures where it says Perkins, that should be enhancement. When we did we had the meeting the last meeting we had gotten word like the day before that they had cut our enhancement, so that's why the revenue went down, and then enhancement is always either a 25%, 50%, or 75% match. So that's why the numbers aren't the same, but SCTC has 2 grants, and I just got Perkins on the expenditure. So that is an enhancement reduction in revenue and a matching reduction, including our match on the expenditures. Now, Title I took a big drop, but now Lynn should get approved for carryover this month, and we should have come back with a budget adjustment that will put $30,000 more in Title I back into the budget. So that will help. We're just trying to give you a running total as it goes because of the deficit situation of the budget. And you will see under expenditures the increase of the $12,927 is Title IV-A expenditures. We also had clarification since the budget meeting. I won't ever get this right, so you listen. We had Title 6B money for several years that went away. We told you at the June budget meeting that it was replaced with Title IV-A money, and it was significantly reduced.
Sorry.
What we got clarification of in July, 6B money went away. It was replaced with Title V money, which was $60,000 that we hadn't planned on. And the 4A money that we got is a new grant that we have some flexibility in how we spend. So then we had to put expenditure codes in for 4A. Clear as mud? So we'll go back
So
to
it sounds like it's better than it was.
It's better than it was.
At the end of the day, it sounds like
Yeah,
we're
so
dead
we'll go back
positive.
to my original statement. What I'm asking the board to approve is a revenue adjustment, adjusting revenues down to $64,870 and expenditures down by $51,071. I promise we know what we're doing now. You can trust us.
I move we accept the budget adjustment presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you.
Next item, we have the approval of the 2017-2018 school starting date of August 16, 2017, which is pursuant to 171.031. Now, let me just tell you this. We are still in compliance, okay? We are good. However, recently there was a statement put out by DESE stating the state statute that you have to go ahead and have a meeting prior to, if you're going to start school, 10 days prior to the first Monday in September. We have had a meeting. We did it back in December when we accepted the school calendar. However, I wanted to make sure that everything is right and do it again, so to speak.
So we're gonna have to do it again every year?
Well, here's what we'll do. I plan on, instead of doing this in August of next year, what we'll do is when we accept the school calendar in December, we'll do it at that time.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Well, and Tom called me about this, and I was like, kind of like everybody else, I was like, I think we've already done this. And I think we complied, but Desi, for whatever reason, is looking at this apparently. And
Doesn't everybody start before September? I mean, I don't know
Well,
many schools.
not everyone,
everybody.
but
Really?
a vast majority do start prior to.
they, apparently this is, didn't you get the idea, Todd, that this was kind of their, they
Yeah.
were looking at this?
This has
So-
been something that our legislators have been looking at now for the last 2 to 3 years, of moving the start date into September. So, I don't know, this has been a statute in place for all, ever.
They want
I
our
mean,
kids
it's
to
been
go
a
to school
long time.
into June.
We can just go ahead and press the school year, extend it on the backside.
Yeah.
One or two.
Something will have to be modified and changed. It's my recommendation to accept the start date of August 16, 2017, pursuant to state statute.
So moved.
Second. Any further discussion? Motion in a second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Why is it that everybody gets out earlier than we do, and we start at the same time?
Because they go less days.
Why? Why do they go less days than we do?
Because that's how they set up their calendar, for whatever reason they do. We have, in the past, we historically always went 180 days. I bet it was 180 days when you went to school, okay? We're down to 176 days right now. And also, we have figured in there that we have other days that we pay our staff for. So it's 192 days that we pay our staff.
I think we have a lot of professional
PD,
development
right.
We did.
days,
right.
more than a lot of other schools do.
You're right.
And that adds in a day here. Yeah.
I honestly think our students, honestly, they need to go to school. They need to be in a structured environment, need to be a structured learning environment. We have talked about summer school last couple of years. We just can't make it work right now. But we would like to look at summer school, even extending that time in June for our kids that need to go to school to be allowed that opportunity. Next item is consideration of 2017-2018 professional development plan. Mr. Mays?
Yes, sir. We met June 1st to do our annual update of the PD plan. The PD plan is going to look very familiar to you. The changes were, we did, this is, every 5 years we try to do kind of a major update. And so we did come up with new goals. We met and had quite a good discussion on that. We reduced the number of goals we had down to 3, and those are on the first page that goes sideways. I'm sorry they're not numbered. We put together several documents or not. But it says the 5-year plan for professional development. There's 3 bulleted items. Those goals are to implement a variety of research-based instructional strategies that differentiate instruction to increase academic achievement, to implement a variety of technology tools to increase student engagement and academic achievement in all core content areas, and through the use of positive behavior support, which we know as PBS, and professional learning communities, PLC, to create a positive school climate that enhances professional relationships between educators and students while meeting the needs of students who are at risk of academic failure. I will tell you that the main discussions seem to center around the second goal about implementing a variety of technology tools, and the fact that that really needed to be based on implementing good instructional strategies with the instructional tools as a support for that. And I think that we managed to capture that thought in the goal. And if you were there at that meeting, I would see there was quite a bit of discussion on exactly how to word that, but I think we did capture that. The third bullet also had quite a bit of discussion too. We wanted to make sure we had the PBS and PLC and the positive school climate, but there was also several people who wanted to make sure that we included that part about meeting the needs of students who are at risk of academic failure. We kind of combine two things there, two different things, the PLC and PBS and positive school environment, and then also meeting the needs of students who are at risk of academic failure. A few other things, just so you know, that we did update the PD request form. Last year, you okayed us to do a flat reimbursement for professional development of $40 a day, as long as they ate all 3 meals. Reduce that, by a part if they only ate 2 meals instead of 1. And so we changed the PD, travel expense form and the PD form to reflect that. We also did the tuition reimbursement form. I know we have some new board members too here this year. We will reimburse up to 6 credit hours at $100 a credit hour reimbursement during a calendar year. So in February of every year, the teachers can request reimbursement for tuition from the past year if they'd like to do so. And so that form was updated. And you may notice too, those who've been on the board for a while too, that we reduced the size of this greatly. This has been kind of unchanged probably for the last 15 years as far as what was there. A lot of the older forms were there since Dr. Bohannon was here many years ago. So I took out things that really just weren't relevant anymore and reduced this down to a more manageable size. Did you have any questions? It was a great meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chad. It's a recommendation to accept the 17-18 professional development plan.
So moved.
Second.
Further discussion? Motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Next item is a consideration of the extra duty assignments for the 2017-2018 school year. And attached in your information are the list of the individuals, their activity, and then also the contracted amount for that particular position. It's the administration's recommendation to accept the extra duty assignment list.
Can we use administrators as coaches?
Well, let me just clarify that. That is a situation where we didn't have anyone to fill that spot, so that is on a yearly basis with Mr.
My concern is that, we catch flack for our administrative costs in the district. And we're paying an administrator an additional amount, and it's not worth it, okay? We all know that it's a lot of time that you put into it, so it's not that it's too much money for what they're doing. But to have an administrator be spending time at practices at 3, or, leaving the building and showing that he doesn't have to be there doing his job, but he's getting paid for it, I'm concerned about the perception in the community about that. Even if it's okay for us to do it under our policies.
I can tell you, Rebecca, that it's a concern of mine too, okay? And that's why I say it's a yearly thing. But we got into a situation where we honestly did not have anybody to fill that particular spot.
Well, we've got so many coaches for our football.
It was a position, a particular position coach that we needed, okay?
Can we not move somebody that's in a different particular position coach that's not as necessary as that?
I don't know if I can answer that. I don't know if I can answer that, Rebecca, without knowledge of what each individual coach is specialized in.
Well, we've hired a cheerleading coach that doesn't work for our district, and we're paying her. Why don't we look at the football and trying to do that? If it's that, we can't find somebody to take that
Right.
role that's in district and teaching, because I'd rather be paying our employees than, like, say, the cheerleading coach who no longer works for our district. I don't think that looks good either.
Yeah.
But I think we should not do this. I really don't think we should start doing this, and you know as well as I do how hard it is to undo something once somebody gets in there and starts doing the job. And then it's hard to change that because it's hard anyway. So they already know the ropes, let's just let them do it another year. I think you should try to not do that.
Rebecca, I'm with you on this. I
Okay,
really
then
am.
let's not do it.
I think that in this particular situation, that we have to fill the voids with what we have right now. I don't see how we can get around this year without doing this. And I know what you're talking about with those particular positions and who they are in those positions. But I just feel like that we need to do this particular year.
I don't even think Andy's supposed to be really in the position he's in, and we left him in there.
Yeah.
And I don't think we should do this. I don't think we should do it again.
Coach Vickery was for several years athletic director and head football coach.
The only thing that was different, Aaron, about that was that he was not truly an administrator. He was an AD. Now our ADs are both that and also an administrator, in that they are assigned discipline.
Are we talking about Chad King here? Is that what you're?
I would, if we want to, can I say this? If we want to discuss this, maybe we should do an executive?
Yeah.
Can we do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't,
We're just not supposed to say
So,
sorry.
it. And unless we're in an exec session.
do we need a motion
I
to
was
take that
guilty
into
too.
executive session?
There hasn't been any motion, so I think you could
Just go on and
Just go
bring it up
on.
in executive
yeah,
session?
you can just bring it up in executive session.
Okay. That's good. That's be fine with me. Okay, next item is the consideration amendment for the 2017-18 a la carte pricing. And Ms. Borden.
There's just two changes. The board voted in June at the administration's recommendation to increase pricing by a dime on the items. And I stated at that time, Hugh hadn't had an opportunity to go through his actual pricing that he would have for the 17-18 school year. When he was able to do so, he got a much better price on bottled water and side fruit and veggies. Those are two items that those are the choices you want the kids to make. You want them to take a side fruit, a side vegetable, and water. So when he looked at his pricing, we were able to bring those back, and I was really excited that we were able to reduce that water down to the price that it was, so.
That's amazing.
So we're asking that you reduce side fruit and vegetables from 85 cents back down to 75 cents where it was, and then bottled water from $1.85 down to 75 cents. The other costs will remain.
I move we accept the recommended reduction.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, next we have the consideration of supplemental vision therapy services. Mr. Crater.
You want to take one and pass it? Here, you do that. Sure. Well, sorry you didn't have this in your packet. We are fortunate to even have some recommendations to make tonight. Therapists are not just hanging out everywhere. We lost a gal that we had who moved to Indiana, and so we had to scramble to get the folks to cover. And what we have in your packet are two agreements. It's going to take two to make one, basically. The first one is with the building network, and then the second page is with Poplar Bluff School District. They have a full-time vision therapist, and they have a little time to take it, contract them out to us. So you can look through it, but I recommend that you approve these agreements so we'll have services for our kids when the school year begins. Any questions? It's pretty standard agreement language, but just want you to know it's going to take two to make one.
I'm sorry, the Ability Network is the one that produces reports and things like that the teacher provides to them?
No, both of these will do the same thing. Both will do direct service to the children. They'll both participate in IEP and do any required reports that we need.
Okay. We just couldn't, the teacher is gonna take some of them, and they're gonna take some of them.
Right.
Cover some.
The lady, there's one lady, her name is Sherry Kaufman at Building Network handles. She's the lady that'll actually come and do it. They handle her, I don't know why she goes with them and does the contract out as an independent, but she's some advantage to her, I guess.
This is the first I've seen.
And then there's an individual from Bluff that will actually come. So it'll be two people.
Accepted in there.
And we're trying to get the hours balanced. The Bluff can only give up so many hours, and the lady from Building Network can only give up so many. We're trying to, that covers what we need for our children. It may be, it won't. These are the only two people we can find right now. And they both seem to be, reputable folks. Terry Kaufman has worked with people that we've had here, and we have their recommendation on there. And we'll have to enter a contract for a teacher, so they have some accountability toward their person as well.
I move we accept the recommendation of the administration to enter in these two agreements for services.
I'd like to make a friendly amendment, if I may. Would you ask them to correct this contract, because one to Poplar Bluff,
Okay.
it says whereas Sikeston is a school district located in Stoddard County, Missouri.
Oh, okay, so thank you.
I'm assuming that they provided this.
They did, and I should have got it, but
That's
they,
all right.
yeah,
If
they're
it's all right to.
Yes.
part of
I
us, I
accept
guess,
your
are Stoddard County folk, but not most of us. Yep, thank you, Scott, appreciate that. We'll get it done.
A motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion or questions or comments?
I'm just curious, how is it that Poplar Bluff's able to have somebody in their employment? Yes, that does this. I mean, and are they contracting out with a lot of other schools, or do you know?
I know they have at least one other, and they're stopping off, either Dexter or Bloomfield somewhere, so we won't even have to pay all the mileage on that day, which is good for us, we'll just pick up, from Dexter on over. What I understand from the few therapists that I know is, they would probably work for a school in a heartbeat, so they'll have, insurance and retirement, and they don't get any of that working independently. So it would, it's just when, if you got a school that's able to do it, you might get one, and we could be the one contracting them out someday. I get calls all the time wanting these specialized people that we've been fortunate to have. We have 2 American Sign Language people, and they're harder to come by than the vision folk.
Do we contract them out like they're doing with this person?
We pay them just as an agreement like we do with the person here.
They're not our staff.
They're not our staff.
Oh, that's what I'm wondering. I mean,
No, we're just fortunate that we found them, they're willing to come to us.
okay.
Yeah.
What you're wondering is, could we hire somebody and then?
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, well, what I gather, most of them would take us to a job if it was offered to them. But then we would have to find other people, enough places to pay the bill.
Which is kind of a year-by-year type thing. I mean, it is, depending on your needs.
You've got
Children.
And we know we have a blind child, say 6th grade. We're not, unless the family moves, we're gonna have them for a while.
6 more years.
And then we have a deaf child that's younger than that. But you never know when they're gonna pick it up and leave, and we would maybe not even need them. So we had to contract them out, maybe the whole time. I mean, you never know what you're gonna have.
Right. But this contract is through the school year anyway, so.
Right.
So if we had
So
somebody.
we can get out of these in
employment,
30 days,
yeah.
we can just say, hey, we don't want you anymore. But if we hire one as a contracted employee, as like a teacher,
Right.
then we'd have to figure out.
It's much more cost effective to hire a third
Benefits.
party.
Yeah.
And the reason Poplar Bluff is contracting out to other schools is try to recoup some of their costs on health insurance and retirement. So, and they are fortunate enough to have someone that lives in their school district that was able to accept the position. If we had somebody in Sikeston, it might be worth looking into. But theirs was just a perfect world.
Right. It's just interesting how this came about.
But I always keep my eyes open. If it's the best deal for us, we got somebody, then we'll come back and talk to you about that.
Yeah, sure.
We want to do the best we can. Now, it is interesting to note that the bluff person's costing us a whole lot less per hour. They're 32 bucks an hour. The other one's 75, which is not that high compared to the other people in this field. It's not like one's that terribly high, it's just that we got a better deal working with bluff. So I'd have taken all their hours if we could have gotten enough of it at that rate.
Did we vote?
Do we have
There's a motion. Yes, second.
Did you second Aaron?
I had Scott.
Scott did.
Scott did.
Oh, Scott made the amendment, did you also second?
No.
Yes, I will say.
Okay, very good.
Any further discussion or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion
Can-
Glenn?
carries.
Next is approval of paid bills through June of 2017.
I didn't catch.
June and July.
Since we didn't have
We
a
didn't meet in
July
July.
meeting.
Oh.
It's just the way we run the report out of the system. It does it by month.
I was just thinking, is there something on there that someone's missing?
No, it's just, if I had instructed Terry to combine them, you could have done, but the report said to do the month range, so.
But it would be okay to make a motion to approve June and July's,
It would indeed.
so moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments or discussion?
Did somebody say we need to do that with roll call done?
He asked.
I asked if nobody needs to abstain, we can go ahead and just do it.
Okay.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Move to consent agenda?
Well, we have one more. We have number 11 on there, adoption of DESI model compliance plan for implementation of IDEA. And this is something that each and every year we have a difficult time getting in from DESI. It used to be in May, then went to June, now it's in August. So, Mr. Krager has that information.
It's standard operating procedure. We just need to accept the plan because we follow the forms they give us, which keeps us into compliance. It's not a money matter, it's just a matter of having our schools follow the right procedures to help special needs kids get what they need. I don't see anything that really has changed that's we need to know about. Usually they change the language each year, like misspellings and things, but we just do it annually. I can give you a printout of all the changes if you'd like to see them. The plan is 152 pages, which I didn't bring one for you, but we have to. I think those pages,
If
except
you like, you can go down and run it off right now.
We have a motion.
Motion to adopt the DESI model compliance plan.
Yeah, Kyle. Okay. A motion and a second, further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Now I guess we'll move to consent agenda items. All right, go through these. Consent agenda, special work session, June 7th, 2017, executive session, June 7th, 2017, work session, June 13th, 2017, regular session, June 13th, 2017, executive session, June 13th, 2017, special session, June 26th, 2017, executive session, June 26th, 2017, executive session, July 6th, 2017, executive session, construction manager risk committee, July 10th, 2017, executive session, construction manager risk committee, July 17th, 2017, executive session, July 20th, 2017, ratification of support staff report, the approval of the gifted program appeals selection committee, approval of the following board policies as proposed by MSBA, BBDA, GDPD, what?
BBFA.
What'd I say?
I don't know.
Oh, never mind. Got too many.
That's all right.
BBFA, excuse me, GDPD, IKF, and JCC. And the sale of surplus property pursuant to policy BN-AP.
Mouthful.
Yeah, I'll take a deep breath now. And I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. No further discussion or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, and we'll take a couple minutes, and come back and go through that other stuff.
Lori, are the surplus items, are they just sold